Juno in the fifth house, the natal astrology guide. In astrological chart interpretation, Juno represents the archetype of the committed partner, the soulmate contract, and what you subconsciously require to feel emotionally and securely bonded. When Juno is placed in the fifth house, the house of creativity, self-expression, romance, and pleasure, it merges the energy of long-term commitment with the lighthearted, expressive energy of play. This placement suggests that your approach to long-term partnerships is deeply intertwined with your capacity to create, enjoy life, and express your truest self. Below is a comprehensive look at the themes, challenges, and expressions of having your natal Juno in the fifth house. Core themes and expression. When Juno resides in the house of romance and entertainment, you do not view commitment as a dry, purely practical arrangement. Instead, you seek a partner who feels like a muse, a creative collaborator, or a playmate. The themes that define this placement include: romance is the foundation of commitment. You view courtship, play, and romantic gestures not just as the beginning stages of a relationship, but as the glue that holds a long-term commitment together. You need a partner who keeps the spark of romance alive long after the initial attraction has passed. The creative partnership. You are drawn to individuals who are highly creative, expressive, or artistic. Your partner may be someone who encourages you to take creative risks, or you may work on artistic projects, hobbies, or entrepreneurial ventures together. Passion and drama. There is often a need for dramatic, passionate, and expressive communication in your partnerships. You are unlikely to be satisfied by a connection that is purely routine or domestic. Your relationship needs color, excitement, and a sense of theatricality. Commitment to self-expression. Juno in this house can indicate that your true path to personal fulfillment involves finding a partner who validates your unique self-expression. You want to feel seen, admired, and celebrated by your significant other. Relationship dynamics and partner archetypes. Individuals with this placement often attract partners who embody the energetic, playful, and creative qualities of the Sun and the sign of Leo, the natural ruler of the fifth house. The playful companion. Your ideal partner is likely young at heart, enthusiastic, and enjoys leisure activities. They may have a strong inner child that encourages you to step out of your own serious nature and have fun. The creator or performer. Your partner might be involved in the arts, entertainment, teaching, or any field that allows them to be the center of attention or create something from the heart. Children and family. The fifth house is traditionally associated with children. Having Juno here often points to a deep commitment to parenting as a joint project, or it suggests that your connection to your children plays a major role in how you view your marital or partnership vows. Shadow aspects and challenges. While this placement brings joy and vibrancy to commitment, it also carries unique psychological hurdles that need to be navigated. Romantic idealization. You may hold on to fairy tale expectations, believing that a relationship should feel like a constant movie script or dramatic romance. When daily life brings mundane chores, you might experience disappointment if the romantic novelty wears off. Ego and attention seeking. Because the fifth house is tied to the ego, there can be a tendency to compete for the spotlight or seek excessive validation from the partner. If your partner is not paying enough attention to your creative output or emotional needs, it can spark unnecessary drama. Fear of commitment. Paradoxically, the fifth house's association with freedom and play can make the traditional weight of a lifelong commitment feel stifling. You may have a fear that settling down will end your fun and creative freedom. Healing and evolution. To harness the highest potential of Juno in the fifth house, the path forward involves integrating the concept of commitment with personal joy. Cultivating joy from within, you are challenged to recognize that your sense of playfulness and creativity does not solely depend on your partner. By bringing creativity into your daily routine, you reduce the pressure on your partner to be your sole source of entertainment. Balanced expression. Learning to balance dramatic, passionate exchanges with grounded, reliable loyalty is key. True commitment means showing up for the fun times as well as the quiet, routine moments. Juno in the fifth house, deeper astrological insights. Expanding on the foundational themes of Juno in the fifth house, we can explore how this placement interacts with specific modalities, planetary rulerships, and relationship milestones. This placement brings a highly specific flavor to how you define a contract or bond with another person, turning the act of committing into an ongoing act of creation. The intersection of Juno and the fifth house archetypes. To truly understand this placement, it is helpful to view it through the lens of the traditional rulers of the fifth house, the Sun and the sign of Leo. When Juno, the asteroid of marriage and contractual bonds, merges with the Sun's domain, the relationship acts as a mirror for your personal identity. The mirror of vitality. Your partner is expected to be a source of vitality and self-assurance. When they shine, you feel validated. When you shine, you expect them to cheer you on. Theatrical love languages. For this placement, love language often manifests through grand gestures, playful teasing, and the celebration of milestones. A quiet, utilitarian relationship may feel cold or unfulfilling to a Juno in the fifth house individual. The role of risk and speculation. The fifth house governs risk-taking and speculation, including gambling and entrepreneurial ventures. Juno here suggests that entering a commitment feels like a thrilling, creative gamble. You are willing to take a leap of faith for love, trusting your heart over purely logical or traditional considerations. Generational and sign variations. While the house placement shows the arena of life where these themes play out, the sign Juno occupies will add distinct color to your fifth house dynamics. Juno in water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Commitment is expressed through deep emotional loyalty and creative empathy. You may view your children or your joint artistic endeavors as the ultimate soul connection. Juno in fire signs, Aries is Leo, Sagittarius. The relationship is highly energetic and action-oriented. You need a partner who challenges you, plays competitive sports, or pushes you to explore the world with enthusiasm. Juno in earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. There is a drive to bring grounded, tangible reality to the creative process. You may bond over building a business, making beautiful crafts, or organizing events together. Juno in air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Intellectual stimulation, humor, and witty communication form the basis of the relationship contract. Your partner is your best friend and brainstorming partner. The evolution of the relationship over time. A relationship with Juno in the fifth house goes through distinct developmental stages as the partners grow older. The phase of discovery. The relationship begins with an intense period of play, socializing, and mutual admiration. You test the waters through shared adventures and creative outlets. The domestic transition. The true test of this placement occurs when the initial excitement fades. If the relationship becomes too routine, the challenge is to find ways to introduce new hobbies, travel, or creative projects back into the partnership. The legacy phase. As time passes, the bond shifts toward a shared legacy. This can take the form of raising children, building a family business, or creating a shared body of work that outlasts both individuals. Juno transit through the fifth house, the cosmic call to play and commit. In astrology, the asteroid Juno governs long-term commitments, soulmate contracts, and the balance of give and take in relationships. While Venus represents attraction and desire, Juno speaks to what sustains a bond over time. When Juno transits the fifth house, the house of creativity, self-expression, romance, and pleasure, the energy of commitment merges with the light-hearted, expressive themes of play. This transit represents a period where you are asked to re-evaluate the relationship between joy, creativity, and long-term partnership. Key themes of the transit. During the transit of Juno through the fifth house, your approach to relationships shifts away from heavy domestic duty and moves towards self-expression and fun. Commitment to creativity. This transit brings a strong desire to dedicate yourself to a creative project, hobby, or passion. You may find that your relationship contract is enhanced by creating something together or by supporting each other's artistic endeavors. The playful soulmate connection. If you are single, this transit can bring a new romantic interest who feels like a muse or playmate. The attraction is likely to be magnetic, theatrical, and fun, bringing out your inner child. Romantic evaluation. If you are already in a committed relationship, this transit prompts a review of how much fun and romance remain in your bond. You may feel the need to inject more leisure, dates, and lightheartedness into the relationship to sustain it. Potential challenges. Because the fifth house is closely linked to the ego and the sun, certain psychological and relational hurdles may arise during this transit. Ego battles and drama. The need for validation can be heightened under this transit. You or your partner may demand too much attention, leading to unnecessary theatrical arguments if you feel ignored. Superficial commitments. There is a risk of confusing a passionate, short-term infatuation with a lasting soulmate connection. You might be tempted to overlook red flags simply because the experience feels exciting. Balancing freedom with duty. The fifth house loves freedom, while Juno craves commitment. You may struggle with a desire to maintain personal independence while trying to build a stable foundation with a partner. Evolutionary growth and healing. To make the most of Juno in the fifth house, the path forward involves integrating the concept of commitment with personal joy. Rediscover your spark. Use this transit to find joy from within. Do not rely entirely on your partner to be your sole source of entertainment. Express your authentic self, allow your partner to see the truest, most creative side of who you are, and encourage them to do the same. Expanding on the foundational mechanics of a Juno transit through the fifth house, this astrological period acts as a major developmental milestone for how you experience emotional validation, partnership, and creative output. Because the fifth house is the realm of the inner child and personal identity, a transit of the commitment asteroid Juno through this sector goes beyond basic relationship updates. It fundamentally rewrites how you invest your heart. Psychological dynamics of the transit. When Juno moves through this creative sector of your chart, your subconscious relationship needs, Juno, are brought into the light of conscious self-expression, fifth house. The desire to be seen and celebrated. You are no longer satisfied with a partner who views you merely as a domestic helper or a practical roommate. You crave a partner who acts as an audience to your talents and passions, and in return, you want to be their greatest fan. The rebirth of hobbies and passions. If you have felt creatively blocked, this transit often brings a renewed sense of purpose. You may find that sharing a hobby or learning a new artistic skill alongside your partner breaks through stagnation and injects new life into a stale bond. The risk of over-idealization. Because the fifth house is linked to optimism and romanticism, Juno can sometimes wear rose-tinted glasses here. You may project your ideals onto a new love interest, confusing an intense romantic spark with a permanent, lifelong contract. Interaction with relationship milestones. Depending on your current relationship status, Juno's transit through the fifth house manifests in very specific, life-altering ways. For the single individual, you are likely to attract or be drawn to a Leo archetype, someone charismatic, outgoing, or highly creative. This person may feel like a fated match or a muse, but the lesson is to ensure the connection has practical staying power beyond the initial excitement. For those in committed partnerships, the transit urges you to redefine what romance means to you. If a relationship has become bogged down by the responsibilities of the sixth house, routine, health, and chores, or the 10th house, career and public standing, Juno in the 5th house invites you to play again. Date nights, creative vacations, and playfulness become the glue that holds the relationship together during this period. Matters of children and offspring. As the house of progeny, Juno transiting here often marks a time when a couple makes a serious, long-term decision regarding starting a family, or it signifies a period where the partners commit to a joint project involving the care, education, or creative development of children. Navigating the challenges. As with any planetary transit, navigating the shadow side is essential for personal growth and relational harmony. Ego conflicts. If your partner does not give you the specific type of attention you crave, it is easy to act out. Resist the urge to create unnecessary drama just to test their love. Financial speculation. The 5th house governs gambling and financial risk. If Juno forms hard aspects, such as squares or oppositions, during this transit, It warns against mixing large financial speculations or business risks with romantic commitments. Subscribe, like, and share.